have dragons? I'll give you one.
Welcome back to Heroes and Whiskey. We are 3D printing our way through the D&D Monster Manual, and today we're looking at this proud and vain blue dragon from Lord of the Print. So as a refresher, we're not printing every dragon in the manual, we're just looking at the biggest ancient of each color. And this blue dragon was actually one of the catalysts for this whole series. I think a picture of a painted version may have popped up on Facebook sometime, and that led me to Lord of the Print and their insane collection of dragons, and that really inspired me to get into resin printing and eventually this channel. So I do owe this dragon a debt of gratitude. If you watched the Black Dragon episode, you know I was able to pull off that whole dragon on a cheap FDM printer. So I got a little bit bold with this guy. For some reason, his head kept failing in my resin printer, and so I started printing everything FDM, and then eventually I was able to get the head and a claw out in resin, so he's a bit of a mutt. Blue dragons are notoriously patient and methodical in combat, but their vanity is really easily triggered. It's a bit surprising to me as they tend to hang out in barren places attacking by surprise. You kind of imagine that if they were that vain, they would always want to be the center of attention, but you can totally imagine a wise-ass bard setting this guy off. So like with the Black Dragon, there are some telltale signs that this was resin printed. You can see some layer lines here on the wing, and then if you look at the tips of these spikes, you know, they're very uneven. There's quite a few layer lines here on the tail as well. It's a bit hard, honestly, to orient some of these pieces on an FDM printer. The head, however, came out fantastic. It really looks good on the resin printer. The spikes are sharp, the teeth are sharp, and overall, since most of it was kind of printed the same way, the seams are really well hidden, and so it really looks good. So in terms of size, it's standing on a rock that itself is about 6 feet high in D&D scale, and then it goes up about another probably 20-25 feet above that. It's a little bit difficult to tell what the wingspan is supposed to be because the wings are folded, but it is definitely an imposing figure to drop on the table. In terms of resources, just $20, which is a really great deal for a model of this quality. Because so much of it was printed in FDM, it did take a while to print, about 53.5 hours. And so we are now up to 592 US dollars. And I realized that I made a math calculation with the Black Dragon episode, but we are officially at 17 days and 18 hours. So if you're looking for a blue dragon, this one from Lord of the Print really looks nice. It is, for the most part, printable in FDM if all you have is an FDM printer. Next up, we're looking at the most cunning and treacherous of all the dragons, the green dragon.